So let's see how this goes because we just got new pods for our house for the internet and stuff like that. So I hope that our connections stay for our time here. And yeah, welcome to my page. I'm Lindsay Dixon. I'm a high ticket sales coach. I love connecting with other strong women online and to support one another and also help women who are ready for that change in their life, trying to get unstuck, ready for that deeper desire for that more. So every night before I go to bed, I ask God, like, what message do I need to speak about today? What do my audience need to hear from me from today? What message like should I speak about today? And today it came in loud and clear, you guys. I went I don't like so I used to go to church here in Vancouver and I loved our pastor. He had Tourette's and he was just really somebody that you could resonate with. I love how he would connect the Bible with today's story and how you can like practice like in today's time. So he just really resonated with me. He made so I could understand versus a lot of times like it was hard to understand the scripture and stuff, right? So anyways, he's moved to California, but because the internet is such a beautiful thing and a beautiful place, is that now I can go online and every Sunday I get to watch him from the comforts of my own home. And I didn't have to like lose that. I can still get connections through the same church. It just feels a little different, like now that the head guy is gone, but they still do incredible stuff. But today's message was, why are you settling? Right. So this really resonated with me too. So, why are you settling? So, I know when I first came into entrepreneurship, I was going through life and I actually was settling. I went to school. I was thinking like that's what I had to do. I had to go to school. I had to get a better paying job. I had to do all the things. But when I was doing that, I was drowning and I was losing my time and I was trading time for my money. And I knew when I met my wife and I wanted to start dating her that something had to change because my schedule was just so busy, like with working, that I couldn't date. Right. So I knew I needed to change my schedule. I needed to change what I was doing so that I could make space to find my person. So I switched careers and jobs and I would go with something that was more flexible, but I was still settling. It still did not feel good to me. Right. So when I found entrepreneurship, it was a huge shift for me, and it was actually, it wasn't like as smooth, as easy transition as you think as well, because, you're so used to going every day for 9 to 5 or 8 to 10, whatever it is, you're going to work every day, and, you have somebody, like, saying, like, "Okay, this needs to be done. This needs to be done. You need to do this, and this is like your week's task and da da da." So you've been told your whole entire life to like what you need to do and what your purpose is and what you have to do for X, Y, and Z that you'd really don't even have the time and the space to think like, what do I want? Right. So when I first jumped into entrepreneurship, it was a little clinky because I didn't have somebody like to report to or somebody to check in or tell me like, am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? I just had to trust the process and surrender. And, this is a huge thing because, God gives us this mission and this vision of like what we want to do in our life or an image or maybe you're not religious, but like you would get this desire inside, like, hey, I would love to see success in my life. Like, hey, I would love to have a family. Hey, I can't wait to meet my soulmate, my person. Like, these are all big desires in our life that we have to just trust the process and quit overthinking all the things, but you have to still take action. So like say if I want a loving relationship, right? So during the time like when I before I met my wife, like, I was dating all the wrong people and everything like this, but finally I sat down and I wrote a list of like what matters to me. And one of the things was like I wanted family values. Like wanted somebody that was big with family, and I also wanted them to have a job because I tended to pay. I was like the designated payer. I was always paying. And there was a few more other things, but like definitely I wrote a list, and then I started to I put a red rose court thing underneath my pillow, and I would read my list every night. So these were the kind of things, and I would start loving myself and making myself better. So I was ready for my person, right? And so that was just an example of bettering your relationships. And same thing in entrepreneurship. Like there was things and lessons I had to learn that, hey, if I want this so bad, I have to do X, Y, and Z. And there's nobody to report to. There's nobody to like get me out of the bed to like do the thing. I have to do it. It's on me. So this is another question. Why, like ask yourself, like, why are you settling? Are you settling in your relationship, your life, your business? Are you wanting more things in life? Like, is your desires there? If your desires there, it's your purpose, right? If God gave you that vision and that mission, it's your purpose. Like stop listening to like the outside noise and do the thing. Do the thing that you want, because it's so easy to go through life and just live a mediocre, struggling life. And that's exactly where I was. So I'm a retired nurse as well. So I remember I was working in the hospice, and there was two types of people that I would meet in the hospice. So there was one person who was like, happy, had a grateful life, was thankful for and loved their family, and they were surrounded by all their loved ones. Uh-oh, my connection paused for my one of my feeds. Well, okay, there we go. So there's one type of person. So like they would be surrounded by loved ones, they would be at peace, they were happy, like even though they were dying, like, you know, they were at peace. And the reason why they were at peace is because they did everything their soul purpose was meant to do. They didn't leave anything undone. They did all the things that they came here on earth to do, their human experience, right? And like the second person would be super angry, would be in grief, would be fighting the fact that they're dying. They would be so angry and upset with the world and why is this done to me? And you would see this time and time again when you're in the hospice, because there was two walks of people that were dying, and this was it. So this is my thing, like, who do you want to be at the end of your life? When you're thinking like, did I settle for my life? Like, did I settle? Because why are you settling? You're here to do the thing. You're here to have a human experience. You're here to have a bigger impact in the world. And we are meant for so much more. We're not meant to be just working our life away and like surviving for like the evenings and weekends. We're meant for something so much bigger, either like getting out in the community and doing kind, bigger things, like doing fundraisers, doing greater good for the people, teaching, serving. Serving is like a huge part of just making the world go around. So we're here on a mission, and we all have our own inner purpose of what we're supposed to be doing. So I definitely hope that um, some of my stories inspire you to do the thing, because I know from getting into entrepreneurship, it wasn't like an easy journey. There were so many times where I was like, ugh, what is my like family and friends gonna think of me? Like, you're putting yourself out there. It is hard. Like, you have to go through something hard to get the thing at the end of your vision and your mission. Like, whatever you're thinking of, like, you have to go through that journey, that learning curve of becoming, because you can't just wake up one day and be a millionaire. It won't happen. Like, people that win the lottery, they like, sure, they get tons of money, but they don't know how money works and they don't know how it flows. So that's why after a year or so, like, they're broke ass again. Like, they're back where they started, square one, because they just don't understand. They don't hold that frequency, that vibe, that energetic exchange for that kind of money, because money is meant to go around as energy, and it's an exchange, and it's for service and value, and it's not meant to be hung on so tightly. And if I know when I was struggling so bad, I was hanging on to every cent. Like, I was like, how can I feed myself? How can I put gas in my car? How can I do X, Y, and Z? How are we even gonna grow a family? Because I had to do IVF. Me and my wife, we did IVF, and that was thousands of dollars. But here's the thing, when we had the vision to like grow our family, we had that goal. So what did we do? We put our head down and we started to think like, how can we call in and make big money? How can we do this? Right. So we started working harder. We started opening up our hearts. We started to think like, okay, what can we do to grow our family, do the thing? And the funny thing is when you have that goal of like, hey, I want to grow my family, that's when you don't have to worry about the how. You know what I mean? You just have to keep doing and being, and your results going to come. And the same thing in life, like whatever you're desiring and wanting, like you just have to be and do, but you have to start taking action. You can't wake up and do the same thing every day, going to work and grinding and not doing anything differently. Like you're never going to get a different results. You're going to remain in the same place that you are today. You're not going to change or grow or evolve. And you might be one of those people at the end of your life where you're like, ah, like you don't want to go because you haven't done your thing. You haven't done your mission, your purpose, what you're supposed to be doing here on earth. There's a bigger purpose. So when we were growing our family, and we were going through IVF, like, almost every time we went to the doctors, it was like a few $1,000s, $5,000, $7,000, $10,000. Like it was a lot of money, and it kept going. But you know what happened? We kept being or doing, and we kept being. And every time we went to the doctor's office to pay for IVF, like it was crazy. It was like, oh wow, we have the money in our bank account. Like it's just there. It's just there. Okay. We even have like a little bit of cushion. Like, let's see what happens. Like in the next week or so, or the next in the next month, like what happened. So it's so mind blowing when you have that strong goal and that strong desire to go towards whatever you're working through. It could be your relationship, it could be your family, it could be your business, it could be success in your life, it could be anything that you're going to. But when you're going to it, it's going to happen as long as you are doing and being what you're supposed to be doing to call in that energetic result, right? So yeah, so it was beautiful. Like every time we went, I had the money in my bank account, and it blew me away. Like I was just so shocked, but I was so grateful that the money was there for IVF, right? So that's just another example of what happens when you go to your desire, to your vision, to your mission. Like whatever you're thinking, or it's on your heart, it's for you. So like if you're watching my video and like my message resonates with you, and it starts to like spike something inside you, it's either like my message is either going to repel people or it's going to pull people towards me. And it's because that's what frequencies and vibes and energetics are all about. It's going to pull the people that need to hear your message. And to others, like the people might be like, oh my gosh, what is she talking about? Like this is just wild, right? And other people, they're gonna be like, whoa, like they're gonna have aha moments, they're gonna see a vision, they're gonna feel a pull towards me. And the reason for it is because we're all connected. Like you never know who's connected to your destiny, to your purpose, to your vision, to your mission, to making like, the world a better place. So anyways, this is what was weighing on my heart today. Why are you settling? Don't settle. Get out there and do the thing, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's calling in more money, if it's having better relationships, if it's being successful or starting that business or growing that family, whatever it is, go towards what you're supposed to be doing. And I want to just thank all of you guys for coming here and supporting me on my 100-day lives. It means so much to me. And you know what? Another thing is like, I can remember too, like being a mom, like especially a first time mom, like, you're lost in just like beautiful mom bubble, right? But a lot of times, like, it took me a while. Like my hair would be up in a messy bun, and then I'd be wearing like clothes or just like sweatpants or whatever. But like, you feel so much better when you can get dressed for the day. And like, sure, even when you're watching me on my 100-day lives, like I might not be always like dressed up to the nines. And there's some days like I will, because that's how I'm feeling, like, and I feel so grateful that like I get to wake up and I get to put my face on and I get to, share more value with you guys. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. So thank you so much for joining me on this journey. And if you're thinking like you want to start a business, or you're thinking that you're wanting more in your life, or you're thinking like, hey, how can I find my identity, my purpose, my dreams, my vision? How can I work more on myself? I want you to reach out to me, like DM me, hashtag freedom, whatever it is, say hello. If you're new to my page, say hello. I know I have a lot of new faces on my page, and I know from just even doing these lives, like I'm energetically pulling in more people. So please say hi. I'd love to support you on your journey as well. And I love connecting with strong, moving and shaking women out in the business. So you guys have a beautiful, blessed day, and happy Sunday. And yeah, talk to you soon. See you tomorrow.